Hey guys, Fran here with Rams and Elite Fitness. Due to some recent controversy in a Facebook status, I have decided that I'm going to do a full video here on the fat acceptance movement, clearly demonstrating where I stand on the issue as well as the facts involved in the matter. Okay. First and foremost, we're going to get the mindset right before we get into the videos. It's important to construct this conversation so that's a positive one. You know, I'm not here to just hear my own voice talk and yell. I'm here to start conversations with people, get people thinking about things. Because when people start thinking, that's when usually they can change their opinions on certain things. You know, if they're completely closed off to any sort of dialect and conversation, they're obviously not going to change their opinion. So that's my goal of it. It's the main issue is emotions. Okay, it's not even the fact that someone's physically overweight or obese. I know a lot of the times the defenders of fat acceptance like to point to that and try to use shaming and other various language to project that they're offended and you're being mean-spirited, etc. When really they're the characters, they're the individuals with the negative attitude in the whole scenario. And essentially what you have is people feeling bad about themselves and are finding ways to redistribute the responsibility for their true feelings. Okay, now I would think it would be clear that most individuals would say they are not happy that they are overweight. Well, what we have with this fat acceptance movement is almost a complete radical group that have completely rationalized away every sort of feeling and logic behind being overweight, and now can rationalize it as a virtue, believe it or not. And I want to set this very straight. When somebody criticizes somebody for being overweight, and it's not even really criticized, you know, I think it's more individuals sending out a message that you being overweight, you are harming yourself. You are severely setting yourself up for all kind of health issues. 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, way before your time would be if you were to take care of yourself. Now, me personally, I'm not going to get into it on this video, but I think the fact that you can't take care of yourself, that speaks to a lot more than just the fact that you're out of shape. I think that goes into a lot more of different characteristics in terms of overall responsibility, but that's for another day. What I want to focus on here today is the fact that fat acceptance is nothing more than a redistribution of responsibility on oneself. Okay, you have individuals that are clearly overweight, out of shape, and instead of using any sort of criticism or information thrown at them, instead of using that to use as motivation to better themselves, to get into shape, they fight back with emotions. They react very vitriol based upon how they feel. And that's the issue. Whenever you have somebody that's in a conversation or a debate and someone is using facts and I'm using positions supported by statistics and science, and you're going to come back with emotions, that means everything I'm saying is just whizzing right past your head because you're fighting on a whole nother level, and emotions really have zero place in debates. They really do not. You can have a debate about an emotional topic, but it should still consist of statistics as main proof of your support or why you support a certain stance. It should never be just solely based on emotion. And that's going to be my number one criticism. I've seen it on the Facebook post. Everyone's coming after individuals saying you're a horrible person, you're mean. I was told I hope you don't treat your clients this way. And I mean, it's endless. And if that's the main method of communication, then we can't have a discussion on the real issue, which is the fact that we have an overwhelming number of people that are overweight. So we're going to get into these videos. I'm going to start this up here in a couple seconds. I just want you to, the thing I want to ask yourself is, look at the mindset of these individuals that are advocating fat acceptance. It is a loser mentality, period. It is a failure mentality. These people have given up any sort of responsibility to themselves to get better at something, to get in shape. These people don't understand they have the ability to grasp this bad situation they're in and to change it for the better. And instead, they're out there pawning off their responsibility on other people and telling people, "Look, I don't got to change." And it's a theory called cognitive dissonance. Okay, cognitive dissonance essentially states that an individual cannot accept two opposing viewpoints about oneself. So somebody in the circumstance, let's say I have this lady that's on screen right now. She's overweight, probably obese, but she can't view herself in a positive light and at the same time blame herself for her circumstance. Those are two opposing viewpoints, because if she blames herself, that's in direct contradiction that she's a good person and feels good about herself. And what most people tend to do is they rationalize away all responsibility, and they always want to just beat on the drum that I'm a positive person, I accept myself, you should accept me too. And in order to do that, they have to make up excuses as to why they're not responsible. You'll hear things like, I've got disability, I'm physically unable, I just can't do it, or, you know, it's a plethora of excuses, and that's all they are excuses. But just check out their mindset. Tell me if it's somebody that you think is accepting any sort of responsibility, or if they're completely deflecting, they don't even want to go into that topic, and instead they'd rather attack personally as a counter argument. We're going to go ahead and start with this first one. This is a CNN debate. There's going to be two ladies, and I'm going to stop it periodically to make a comment.
I do agree that there is stigma that I have to deal with because I am fat, but I'm actually really in celebration of my body. I find.
Now, are you really, Julianne, whatever you are, your last name, are you really? I think, again, this is part of that rationalization where you tell yourself, I need to be positive, I want to feel good about myself, so I'm going to start saying that, yeah, I really do appreciate my body. But do you really, though? Because for most individuals, they don't happily accept that they're overweight. But in order for you to be on the side of fat acceptance, you have to push that agenda that you are happy, you're completely fine. But watch how these individuals will react emotionally. They get so defensive so quickly. Well, let me ask you this then, Julianne. If you guys are completely happy with yourself, fully fulfilled, then why do you even come on and debate people? Why do you feel the need to go out, defend yourself, personally attack others that criticize you? Why do you have to do that? I'll tell you why. It's because you're not satisfied with yourself. You're rationalizing to yourself that you feel good. You tell yourself these white little lies, make you feel good about yourself, and that you can deflect responsibility off of. And you know what? That's your prerogative. If you want to maintain that point of view, then I'm never going to be able to help you. But I'm in this business to help individuals. I think it's funny when people tell me, well, I hope you don't approach your clients this way. You don't shame them into becoming skinny. Let me tell you something. My clients are the best clients. They don't come to me with the shaming mentality. They don't come to me with the failure to accept responsibility mentality. They come to me willing to accept the fact that they are where they are because they have made some bad decisions in the past and are here to rectify those. They are paying me monetarily with real cash out of their bank accounts to help them, guide them towards the good decisions that they need to start making. And I tell you what, when they do that, they start to get real benefit. They lose weight. You can ask them that. I guarantee they would all testify to that they were where they were before me because of bad choices they've made. And when we start to make progress, it's because of good choices we make. So don't give me this that I'm here to hurt people. I want to shame them. I do this for a living. Obviously, if I'm shaming my own target clientele, I wouldn't have a business. Now, would I? So, again, those will not be addressed. Those personal attacks are not going to be addressed to save them. Let's continue with the Julianne.
Beauty and diversity. I think we come in all shapes and sizes. And the assumption that we've dealt with a lot on this show is that just because you're obese, you must overeat. You must.
She's essentially insinuating that these people are living there. She would have you believe they're living the healthiest lifestyle. They're out there eating salads every day. They're riding bicycles. They're going for walks with the dog. They would have you believe that they are so responsible for themselves and that their weight is just outside circumstances that they can't control. That's what they want you to believe. Well, let me tell you something. Again, unless you're going to disprove the law of thermodynamics that energy in has, if you eat a surplus of energy, that it has to go somewhere. It doesn't just evaporate. It doesn't just melt away. When you overeat, it becomes stored as body fat. And vice versa. When you undereat and create a deficit in energy balance, guess what? It just doesn't, evaporate from somewhere. It comes from stored body fat. So the notion that these people, think they want to try to portray that they're eating healthy, it's just absolute pablum, essentially. They're just they're going along their scripts and are trying to give you a vision of something that's not true.
Must have an eating disorder.
And that's it. We're going to move forward here to a second lady who's on the panel here. We'll see her on the right. Same situation where she's going to be advocating for a certain position. Let's just see what she has to say.
The thing is that I think that the Hayes approach, the health at every size approach, has been documented to work.
Really? Health at every size. Now, to the average individual that doesn't have access to Google at the moment, that might sound great. Health at every size approach, that sounds like a great diet. Let me show you something, folks. Health at every size, the Hayes approach, it is a loser mentality. It's a failure. It is an acceptance movement in and of itself. It's nothing but propaganda. You see here, the second, let's face facts. We've lost a war on obesity. That is the second sentence of their home page. We've lost a war on obesity. If that's not a failure attitude, I don't know what is. These people have given up. If you subscribe to the Hayes method, you're a loser. You're accepting yourself that you've lost a war. There's nothing you can do. Oh, let's just try to be healthy at our large weight. Oh, poor me. Fighting fat hasn't made the fat go away, and being thinner, even if we knew how to successfully accomplish it, will not necessarily make us healthier or happier. And here we go. Here's a rationalization. What I tell you guys. Being thinner, that's not necessarily proven to make me any healthier or happier. They find these thin hair margins of issues and try to put that to the forefront as if that's the common theme. I got that the other day on Facebook. Someone said to me, or someone put out there, there's people that are 300 pounds that are healthier than you're ever going to be. Let me tell you something. You're polling from 5% of the population that's over 300 pounds. You do realize the majority of people that are over 300 pounds are not in the best shape of their life, nor to accuse that, to try to accuse me or tell me that they're in better shape than I am. It's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. You got these guys. Let me ask you this then, geniuses. If somebody's 300 pounds, they're in such great shape, that archetype to me would be like an NFL lineman. 300 pounds, 6'6", 350. They're athletes. They play a whole game of football in a hot heat, every play. Why do they lose so much weight after football? Have you seen Alan Faneca lately? Jeff Hardings? Chris Hoke? They're as skinny as can be. Why? Well, because they realize it's not healthy to be at that weight. Even though they were probably in pretty good athletic shape at those levels, could move a bunch of weight, could lift a bunch of weight, could run and have endurance to play a whole football game without getting tired. Or not that they weren't tired, but they lasted the whole game at that weight, which most people couldn't do 2 plays. They realize that that's not healthy. That's not the ultimate level of fitness. They could do better. And that's what I'm suggesting to you. You're going to come out and put out and push a very small percentage of people as if they're somehow healthy. Now, it's nothing but rationalizations. You'll pull at every little string you can to explain away your weight instead of taking charge for yourself. Health at every size is a peace movement. Yeah, look at this. I mean, it can't get. Few of us are at peace with our bodies because we're fat. It's a loser mentality. The Hayes approach don't work. Lady don't know what the hell she's talking about.
I think you need to separate the idea.
And look at it. Notice, people. These aren't just like your average Jills down the street that are overweight. She's an author. She takes advantage of this movement, of this message. She's out there exploiting people who buy into this crap. The fat chick works out. Pretty much an oxymoron, don't you think? Continue, please.
Of weight from healthy behavior. Now, I have students that when they come to me, when they start my class, they can barely walk from the car to my class. And over the course of a year, I'll take them from that point to working out 3+ hours per week. Right.
Now, look, this lady has zero business being a fitness instructor of any kind, let alone one running in her own backyard and people are coming to it. And look, I'm not denying the benefit of physical activity in any form. If you're one of my clients, you realize I tell you to get exercise outside of our sessions. That's because there are numerous benefits to activity, no matter how simple it is. I have clients who I have stand up at work and walk around the office 2 times every 20 minutes or something like that. That has benefit to it. Is that optimal? Is that what's going to result in 10 pounds of loss of body fat? No, it's not. But you will recoup. You will receive some sort of physical benefit just from moving around a little bit. So the fact that she's out there saying, again, they're trying to put They're trying to put these scenarios out at you as if they're these gold standards. Oh, look, I take all these people, I make them wonderful. They feel so good about themselves. Look, lady, congratulations. You can teach a fitness class, you get a couple people to take your class, and you make them feel better about themselves, and you pat yourself on the back thinking you've done a major service. But you haven't even addressed your own overweight issue, and you're moving on to things that you don't even know what the heck you're talking about.
I mean, but that's a massive improvement. I mean, that's no longer people with medical issues. Those are people you've taken and improved them.
But they haven't necessarily lost a lot of weight. So
Oh, what a surprise. They haven't lost a lot of weight. Well, who could have told you that looking at you, the instructor, trying to tell people how to lose weight when you can't do it yourself? Now, with all due respect, that would be like going to a cardiologist that weighs 350 pounds. He's eating a donut in the office as you're in there, and he tells you, hey, you're overweight, you need to lose weight, you're going to have a heart attack. That's exactly what this is like. And, you know, these people aren't going to lose weight. They're walking around the backyard and making hand circles. That's not how you lose weight. But again, she props herself up as some, almost like a prophet. Like, hey, look, I'm fat, and look, I'm still working out, I'm in great shape, and I'm teaching classes on people. No, you're exploiting a movement because people want to feel good about themselves. That's the underlying issue. People want to feel good about themselves, but they don't know how to go about doing it in regards to health and fitness. And that is why people pay for personal trainers. So the trainer does all the thinking, the trainer does all the methods, the workouts, they construct the plan. They just got to show up and do it. That's where the value is. So when you come on and tell them, look, you can be fat and still work out and you'll feel good about it, of course someone's going to buy into it or at least try it. I mean, it sounds great on paper, but in reality, it's not. We're going to move on. Fat Girl Diary, again, don't know who she is, but as read the description here, her purpose here is to encourage high self-esteem, self-love, and fat acceptance. So again, creating false narratives where as if the issue is everyone else is tearing them down and really beating them up for just the fact that they're fat, as if that is the real reason behind what I'm trying to do. That must be it, right? I disagree with her on the whole movement, so that must mean that I'm trying to rip them down. No, I'm trying to help you guys, and you don't want to help yourselves. There's a certain segment of you guys that don't want to listen. You want to rationalize things away and don't want to accept responsibility. And no one's going to help you. I'm not even going to waste my time to try to help that segment of the population because until they figure things out for themselves and that they can start changing things, I can't do anything for them. So roll the tape on this lady.
Fat acceptance is accepting the people in your life for who they are. I'm fat.
Whoever said I don't accept fat people? Just because I don't agree with the fact that that you can live I take issue with the fact that you think you can be healthy and be overweight. I don't subscribe to that theory. Why? That's not something from my experience, from statistics, from virtually anywhere that is fact. So why would I agree with you on that? But that don't mean I don't accept. I've got family members that are overweight. Does that mean I hate them or I want to shame them? No, of course not. We're making false arguments about things that aren't the real issue. When people are trying to help you, we're throwing facts at you and you're throwing back emotions. That's not how you have a discussion and have a debate. It's not how things get changed.
I go through my day, I'm fat. I don't need you telling me that I'm fat. You are this big to me, and now I squish you.
What's up with this lately, by the way? This is a little off topic. Just real quickly. What's up with this humor angle all the time now on YouTube? I see it everywhere. I understand when there's humor, it's funny, but she's not even funny. But everybody tries to be a funny guy nowadays and wants to. They think that somehow if they tell a couple jokes here and there, that they're going to rally more support to their cause. What is up with that? Let's get back to the issues, please.
I just hope that if you do have someone who's plus sized in your life, that you can try to find some way to accept them for who they are. They're not.
They don't comprehend, and here's the problem: when you're fighting with emotions and illogic, you are unable to use rationale. You cannot think and use facts if you're not listening to facts. So you make arguments that are circular or made up. They have nothing to do with the topic, and you end up sounding like this lady. Someone tells you, hey, it might be in your best interest to lose a little bit of weight. and you construct from that I'm shaming you and trying to make you feel bad about yourself.
I'm trying to get fatter and fatter so that they can make your life miserable. So it might be nice if you could just try to make somebody else's life nice. Try to understand that it is hard to be bigger.
Yeah, so why wouldn't you want to get smaller? These people, they serve as such great foils because they don't even understand what they're saying. They're saying things that support my point of view. And it's not just my point of view, it's the majority of the population, I believe. It's point of view. Oh, it's so hard being big. Oh, it's just so terrible. Then why don't you do something about it? You sit there on one hand, tell me how terrible it is, and then on the other you say, well, it just is what it is, we accept it. No, don't accept it, fight. God's sake, I mean, the whole movement is a failure and loser mentality, and it kills me, it drives me nuts. Because I can't help people. And just to wreck this notion of me and my clients and how I better be a positive influence or else I'm a big ball of negativity, let me tell you something. My clients don't act like this. My clients don't come to me with this attitude telling me, oh, I really don't want to get in shape. I accept me being fat. No, they come to me because they're almost on bended knee. They're at the valley. They're down. They're feeling really low about things and they want to get better. They feel good. They know they can change. They know they take responsibility. Not this kook wants to blame everybody else but herself. Tells me it's bad but wants people to accept her. Make up your minds. You guys are like multiple personality disorders. Finally, let's wrap up with some boring stuff. I know I probably just lost half the audience. I know, whatever. This is important. Because when people say, why don't you just leave them alone, Fran? Why are you even going to do this? Let people make their own choices. Let them live. Let me tell you something, though. When your choice starts to affect me, starts to affect the population, starts to affect the country, then I'm going to take issue with it, especially when it comes to a subject that you can control. It's not like cancer rates where, some cancer you do cause yourself, like smoking, and some you just get, from genetics and hereditary. I'm not bashing people for getting hereditary cancer, but when you have a heart attack because you're obese, then yes, you did that mainly to yourself. You don't have to remain obese. I understand there may be some circumstances where it makes things tougher, like you have a thyroid, but go to YouTube, please, and type in, motivation for fitness. There's people that are, no limbs and are working out and staying in great shape. There's guys with one arm doing pull-ups. I mean, I don't want to hear your excuse about your physical limitations and how hard it is because your thyroid's bad. There's people that ultimately can still achieve results, and they don't blow up to 400 pounds with these handicaps. So I don't want to hear that. But let me show you what happens to our healthcare system. So this chart here, you have your insurance category. Medicare and Medicaid obviously are federal funding, and private would be like your own insurance if you have healthcare. You have inpatient, which is, if a doctor has to, writes you a thing that, you admit yourself to the hospital and got to stay there under supervision. Non-patient is going to be like your ER trips for heart attacks. You get rushed into the ER, you get emergency surgery, and then they admit you as an inpatient. Then you go to inpatient when they admit you. And then there's drug prescriptions, your cholesterol meds, your heart meds, et cetera, et cetera. What we're looking at is the spending increase from 1998 to 2006 in terms of dollars, okay, and percentage increases. Medicare and Medicaid are federal funding, aka are taxes. If you work and you pay taxes, your taxes are going towards this. And this is obesity, and this could all be preventable, and this could be brought down significantly. Let's get to the increases per patient on Medicare. Non-patient is up about $693 a year. Drug prescriptions up $608 a year. Those increases are 40% and 72% increases, respectively. Medicaid, inpatient up $213, non-inpatient $175. Drugs up $230, 39, 14.8, and 60%. Look at private. Look, besides the issue that this is tax money, your private insurance, people for inpatients are paying $443 a year extra, $393 for inpatient, and $284 for drugs. A 90%, 38%, and 81% increases in your private healthcare costs. Overall, for all categories, 45, 27, and 81% increases. Our meds have gone up 81% in spending. If you still think it's all right to accept your weight and to defer responsibility somewhere else after this video, then you're part of that segment I talked about earlier, which can't be helped. And until you, not to say you're gone forever, but until you come back around on things, then don't take part in the discussion afterwards. Now, if you're somebody to watch this, if you find yourself struggling to lose weight, good. That's fine. You're part of the population that I'm out there trying to help. I want to get my message out to you. I am writing a book called Barriers, which I'm going to tackle a lot of these excuses and issues and how we can start to overcome these things and get on the right path. I'm not here to just shame people and make people feel bad. I want to help. But there's a saying, right? You can take a horse to the water, but he's got to be the one to drink. I can't make the horse drink water. So you've got to want to help yourself before you accept any outside help. So guys, if you watch this video in its entirety, I appreciate it. Thanks for sticking in there with me on this topic. Please, 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 the best thing you can do is add some comments to this on Facebook. Add videos, comments on YouTube. I don't care. Just start to take part in this dialect. Write down your opinion, whether you're for or against. I don't care. As long as you're respectful, we stay away from personal attacks, we talk about facts, then we can have a positive discussion and start to try to, start the wheels turning on real change, real positive change that actually will help people's lives. That's what I'm about, and hopefully you take away that if you settle for this fat acceptance, you are accepting defeat, you are accepting failure, you are accepting that you are a loser, which is in direct contradiction to the whole purpose of the movement, which is supposedly to feel better about yourself. By accepting that, you're actually accepting that you are a loser. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for the incredible support I've received, for all the positive feedback that I've given. And I'm going to continue to speak straightforward on every issue that I talk about, because that's who I am and that's how you solve problems.